is Sozo Sounds, and today I'd like to talk to you about the care and maintenance of tuning forks. I'm going to do that in two separate videos. So I want to go over the two manufacturers in America. One's over 100 years old and one's been around since the 70s. And one makes the recipe out of, well, they both make it out of the finest aerospace grade aluminum. But they have their own recipe, like one uses titanium, magnesium, and zinc in that as well. And I'm not sure what the other one puts in their mix because they don't release it. Actually, the oldest one is the most expensive one, I believe, because of the titanium. But they're both great forks. No one in the world can compare with the metallurgy of America. And so they do have the finest forks. Not compared with some of the stuff you'll find on Amazon and eBay. It's pretty cheap kind of stuff. So anyway, Sozo Sounds carries both manufacturers. The reason I went into that is because all manufacturers make their tuning forks at a certain temperature. And these two tuning fork manufacturers, one makes it at 69, one makes it at 70. Why that's important is that it's metal. So when they're exposed to heat, it contracts, which means it goes lower in frequency. When exposed to cold, expands. When it's exposed to cold, it contracts and it goes higher in temperature. So these manufacturers, if they're even off 1 degree in the place that they're making it, they'll have to shut down the factory because they have to do a reset because it's extremely important. So why that is important to you is we generally want to keep our tuning forks within 10 degrees of that. So I would just give a broad range of 60, no lower than 60, and no higher than 80 degrees. So you don't want to leave it in your car exposed to these temperatures outside of that because it can do permanent damage to the frequency. They can only contract and expand so much. Okay? So they are just such a great tool. And we use them all the time, and because we're using them all the time, we also get oil and grease all over them. And we also use them with essential oils, right? So how do we clean them? Alright, so what you can do is you can put them under lukewarm water with some mild dishwashing hand detergent like Dawn or Ivory or even soft soap. And you can put them under the water, the lukewarm water, and clean them. It's not going to hurt them at all, and you're not going to be doing it that long. And like I said with the temperature before, they need to be exposed for a good long time before that happens. So you're okay with that. So that's physical, pretty easy. For spiritual cleaning or energetic cleaning, that's a whole other matter. So the tuning forks, when you work on yourself and others, and you just do it for a long time, what happens is they pick up the energy of that person. Or it could be your forks, the room, you guys are full, everything is full of energy. So we want to cleanse that. So what I do with that is I'll cleanse them with a 4096 hertz crystal tuner, it's called. It's one of the angels. And I'll activate it, but I will scan the tuning forks that I'm using. It could be sets, it can be several of them. I also use this over myself and my client before I do anything. But what that will do is it'll keep it nice and clear, because after a while it will just fill up with that energy and it'll get kind of cloggy and dull sounding. So we don't want to do that. So we want to keep that. And if you keep these, take care of these, you can have them for the rest of their life. So as long as you don't abuse them, you're good with that. So I'm going to continue in our next video in part 2, where I'm going to go over the parts of the tuning forks and activators that can be used. Because if you don't use the right activator, again, you can damage the fork. So I want to make sure that you know what activators do what and what you can do to keep your forks pristine. If you have any questions, please call us or email us at sozosounds@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay tuned for the next video.